Ever wonder how some folks seem to just have it all figured out? Like, they're living life on their terms, stacking cash, and making it look easy. But here's the kicker, most of them didn't just stumble into wealth. They learned the ropes, built a killer mindset, and mastered the game. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're talking 30 years of wealth wisdom packed into 30 minutes. Yeah, you heard me right. Now, let's get real for a second. If you're sick of feeling stuck, tired of that paycheck-to-paycheck grind, or just fed up with not having a game plan, then you're in the right spot. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or some overnight miracle. We're talking about proven strategies, smart investments, and habits that'll change your whole outlook on money. And guess what? Most of this stuff is free game, knowledge that anyone can grab, but only a few actually use. Here's the deal. If you've ever thought about starting your own business, or if you're just trying to figure out how to make your money work for you instead of the other way around, stick around. This isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about shifting your mindset, building that financial foundation, and creating passive income that keeps rolling in while you sleep. Trust me, once you get this down, your whole approach to money's gonna flip. So, if you're ready to ditch the old way of thinking and start making moves that actually count, stay with me. Because by the end of this, you'll have the tools and the mindset to start transforming your financial life. And the best part? You can start today. No excuses, no waiting around. Let's get into it. So, here's the deal. When it comes to sales, it's not just about making a buck. It's about shaping how people see you and your personal brand. Think about it. When you walk into a room, folks already have a vibe about you before you even say a word. That's your brand talking. Your sales game is a big part of that. Are you coming off as real, or are you just trying to hustle folks? People can spot a fake from a mile away. If you're being authentic, that's gonna shine through, and that's what people are gonna remember. Now, being real in sales is where it's at. People are done with the whole slick salesperson routine. Nobody wants to feel like they're getting played, you know? They want someone who's honest, who's straight up with them. Picture this. Would you rather buy from someone who's upfront with you, even if it means saying, "Hey, this might not be the best fit for you," or from someone who's just telling you what you want to hear to close the deal? Being real builds trust, and trust is everything. It's not something you can fake. It's something you earn, one honest convo at a time. Your personal brand is like your rep. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. Every time you sell something, you're adding to that rep. When you're real with people, it strengthens your brand, and that sticks with them. Think about companies like Apple. They're not just selling you a phone. They're selling you a lifestyle. Their whole sales approach is tight with their brand. That's what you gotta do. Make sure your sales game matches the story you want your brand to tell. Every sale is a chance to build that story. Here's the kicker. Sales and personal branding are like peanut butter and jelly. They just go together. The stronger your brand, the easier it is to sell. Why? 'Cause people already know you, they trust you. And when you're selling in a way that's true to you, it makes your brand even stronger. Take someone like Gary Vee. He's got his brand locked down. He's real, he's transparent, and that's exactly how he sells. He's not trying to be something he's not, and people vibe with that. Your brand should be the same, just a reflection of who you really are. But here's the thing, it's not just about being real, it's about being real all the time. You gotta be consistent. If one day you're chill and honest, and the next day you're pushy and fake, people are gonna pick up on that. It's like sending mixed signals, it's confusing, and it just doesn't work. Folks need to know what they're getting when they deal with you, and that's gotta be the same every time. So, how do you keep it consistent? Stick to your core values, and make sure your sales approach lines up with those values, no matter what. That's how you build a brand that people can trust for the long haul. Ethical sales. When it comes to sales, being ethical isn't just a nice to have, it's a must. Forget those sneaky tactics like the 99 cents rule where folks try to trick you into thinking something is cheaper than it really is. People see through that kind of stuff these days. Instead, focus on being straight up with your customers. They'll respect you more for it, and guess what? They're more likely to come back. Being honest in your sales approach builds trust, and that's the real key to long-term success. Think about it like this. When you're upfront with people, you're not just making a sale, you're building a relationship. And relationships are what keep customers coming back. Imagine you're at a car dealership. Wouldn't you rather deal with a salesperson who's clear about the costs, doesn't hide the fine print, and genuinely wants to help you find the right car? That's the kind of experience people remember. It's not about the quick buck, it's about the long game. Ethical sales create loyal customers, and loyal customers are the backbone of any successful business. Now, let's be real, being ethical doesn't mean you can't be competitive. You can still be a sharp, savvy salesperson while keeping things above board. The key is to be transparent. If there's a deal that's not in the customer's best interest, don't push it just to close the sale. Instead, offer alternatives that better suit their needs. Not only does this make you look good, but it also helps in building that trust factor we talked about. People appreciate when you're looking out for them, and that's what keeps them coming back. Another thing to consider is how you handle customer concerns or complaints. This is where ethical sales really come into play. Instead of brushing off a customer's issue or trying to deflect blame, own up to it and offer a solution. It's not just about making the customer happy in the moment. It's about showing them that you're reliable and trustworthy. In a world where word of mouth can make or break a business, handling issues ethically can turn a potential disaster into an opportunity to strengthen your brand. Finally, being ethical in sales isn't just good for business, it's good for you. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure to hit targets and close deals, but when you stay true to your values, you sleep better at night. You know you're doing right by your customers, and that peace of mind is worth more than any commission check. Plus, when you build a reputation as someone who's ethical and trustworthy, it opens doors. People want to work with you, refer you, and do business with you. So, keep it real, stay honest, and watch how it transforms your sales game. Authenticity. In sales, authenticity is your secret weapon. People can tell when you're being genuine, and that's what draws them in. It's all about making real connections with your clients. Think about it. When was the last time you bought something from someone who felt more like a friend than a salesperson? That's the power of being authentic. When you're not just trying to push a product but actually listening to what the customer needs, they feel it. And that's what makes them come back for more. Being authentic means you're not putting on an act. You're just being you, and that's what people appreciate. It's like when you're talking to a friend, you're not trying to impress them, you're just having a real conversation. That's how sales should be. Whether you're selling a car, a service, or even an idea, the more genuine you are, the more people will trust you. And trust is everything in sales. It's what turns a one-time buyer into a repeat customer. Now, let's talk about long-term relationships. When you're authentic, you're not just closing a sale, you're opening the door to a long-term relationship. Think of it like this. When you show up as your true self, customers feel like they're getting to know the real you, not some sales persona. And when people feel like they know you, they're more likely to stick around. They're more likely to refer you to others. And that's where the real growth happens, through relationships built on authenticity. But authenticity isn't just about being nice, it's about being real, even when it's tough. Sometimes, being authentic means having those hard conversations with clients. It means telling them when something isn't the right fit or when there's a better option out there. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Because when you're honest with people, even when it's not what they want to hear, they respect you for it. And that respect builds trust, which, as we know, is the foundation of any good relationship. So, how do you stay authentic in sales? It starts with knowing yourself and what you stand for. When you're clear on your values and what you bring to the table, it's easier to be genuine in your interactions. It's also about being present, really listening to your customers and responding to their needs in a way that's true to you. And remember, authenticity isn't about perfection, it's about being real. It's about showing up as you are, flaws and all, and letting your clients see the real you. Over-delivering. Here's something not everyone's ready to hear. If you really want to stand out in sales, you gotta over-deliver. I'm talking about giving more than what's expected every single time. It's not just about meeting the customer's needs, it's about exceeding them. Imagine ordering a burger and getting free fries on the side. It's that extra touch that leaves people feeling like they got more than they paid for, and that's what keeps them coming back. Over-delivering isn't just a nice gesture, it's a strategy that builds loyalty and trust. Think about it. When was the last time you were blown away by a purchase? Maybe it was the little details, like a handwritten note or an unexpected discount, that made the experience memorable. Those are the moments that stick with you, and that's exactly what over-delivering does for your customers. It's about creating a wow factor that turns a good experience into a great one. And in a world where people are quick to forget, being the one who over-delivers makes sure you're the one they remember. But let's get real, over-delivering doesn't mean you have to go broke giving away freebies. It's more about being thoughtful and finding ways to add value. Maybe it's throwing in some extra advice, following up with a quick check-in, or delivering faster than promised. These small acts don't cost much, but they make a huge difference in how your customers see you. They start to see you as someone who genuinely cares about their needs, not just someone trying to make a sale. Over-delivering is also about integrity. It's making sure that what you sell is exactly what you can deliver, if not more. There's nothing worse than promising the moon and falling short. People remember that kind of disappointment, and it can hurt your reputation. But when you consistently give a little extra, you're building a reputation as someone who can be counted on to go above and beyond. That's the kind of rep that not only keeps customers coming back, but also brings in referrals. Finally, think about how over-delivering sets the stage for future sales. When customers feel like they're getting more than they expected, they're not just satisfied, they're excited. They're more likely to talk about their experience with others, spreading the word about your business. Over-delivering creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond the initial sale. It's not just about closing one deal, it's about opening doors for more opportunities down the line. Finding your style. When it comes to sales, finding your own style is key. Not everyone's gonna be the loud, outgoing type, and that's totally cool. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, there's a sales style that fits you. The trick is to lean into who you naturally are. Think about it. If you're more low-key and thoughtful, trying to be super flashy is gonna come off as fake. But if you own your natural vibe, people are gonna respect that. It's all about being comfortable in your own skin and letting that shine through in how you connect with clients. For example, if you're the kind of person who likes to take your time, really get to know people, and understand their needs, that's your strength. Use it! Your clients will appreciate that you're not rushing them or trying to push something they don't need. On the flip side, if you're more of a go-getter, high-energy type, there's a way to channel that, too. Maybe your style is about bringing excitement and enthusiasm to the table, making people feel pumped about what you're offering. The point is, there's no one-size-fits-all in sales. It's about finding what works for you and making it your own. But here's the thing, finding your style isn't just about being yourself, it's also about adapting to different situations. Sometimes, you'll need to dial it up or tone it down, depending on who you're dealing with. It's like having different gears you can shift into, depending on what the road looks like. This doesn't mean you're being fake, it just means you're flexible. You're still being you, just in a way that resonates with different clients. The more you practice, the easier it gets to switch things up without losing your authenticity. Another part of finding your style is figuring out what techniques work best for you. Maybe you're great at storytelling, weaving in personal experiences to make your pitch more relatable. Or perhaps you're all about the facts and data, giving clients the hard numbers they need to make a decision. Whatever it is, play to your strengths. There's no point in trying to master every sales tactic out there if it doesn't feel natural to you. Stick to what feels right, and you'll not only enjoy the process more, but you'll also be more successful at it. Finally, remember that your style is something that evolves over time. What works for you today might change as you gain more experience and confidence. So, don't be afraid to tweak things as you go. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep being true to yourself. The best salespeople aren't the ones who follow a script, they're the ones who know themselves and use that self-awareness to connect with others in a real way. So, find your style, own it, and watch how it transforms your sales game. Training your team. When you've got a product or service to sell, it's not just about you, it's about your whole team. Everyone involved needs to know how to sell what you're offering, and that means training is key. Think of it like this. You can be the best salesperson in the world, but if your team isn't on the same page, you're gonna hit roadblocks. That's why it's crucial to make sure everyone's got the skills, knowledge, and confidence to sell like a pro. And it's not just about teaching the basics, it's about making sure they believe in what they're selling, too. Training your team isn't just about running through scripts or memorizing product features. It's about giving them the tools they need to connect with customers on a deeper level. This means teaching them how to listen, how to ask the right questions, and how to understand the customer's needs. You want your team to feel like they're not just selling a product, they're offering a solution. When your team believes in what they're selling, that passion comes through, and customers can feel it. And that's what drives sales. Think about real-life situations where training makes a difference. Maybe you've got a new hire who's eager but doesn't know the ropes yet. A solid training program can turn that raw enthusiasm into sales gold. Or maybe you've got a seasoned pro who could use a refresh on the latest product or techniques. Ongoing training keeps everyone sharp and ready to handle whatever comes their way. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a continuous process that helps your team stay at the top of their game. But here's the kicker. Training isn't just about what happens in the classroom or during a meeting. It's about creating a culture where learning is part of the everyday routine. Encourage your team to share tips and tricks with each other, to learn from their successes and their mistakes. When you foster an environment where everyone's learning and growing together, it makes the whole team stronger. And when your team is strong, your sales numbers reflect that. Finally, remember that training your team is an investment in your business's future. The time and resources you put into making sure everyone knows how to sell effectively will pay off in the long run. A well-trained team is more confident, more capable, and more likely to close deals. And when everyone's on the same page, working towards the same goals, that's when the magic happens. So, take the time to train your team right, and watch how it transforms not just your sales, but your entire business. 3-step sales process. Selling isn't about just winging it. There's a process that can make things a whole lot smoother. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First, you've got to identify potential buyers. Second, you need to understand their needs and build a relationship with them. And third, you present your product in a way that meets those needs. It sounds basic, but when you nail these steps, you're setting yourself up for success. It's like having a roadmap that guides you through every sale, helping you stay focused and effective. So, let's start with identifying potential buyers. This is where you do your homework. You don't want to waste time pitching to people who aren't interested or don't need what you're offering. Instead, zero in on the folks who are most likely to benefit from your product or service. Maybe you're selling financial planning services. Your ideal buyer could be someone who's just starting a family and looking to get their finances in order. The key here is to be specific. The more you know about your target audience, the better you can tailor your approach. Next up is understanding their needs and building a relationship. This isn't just about asking a few questions and calling it a day. It's about really digging deep to understand what makes your potential buyers tick. What are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? When you take the time to get to know them, you're not just another salesperson. They start to see you as a partner who's genuinely interested in helping them. And that's when the relationship begins to form. It's this connection that makes the next step, presenting your product, so much more effective. When it comes to presenting your product, it's all about showing how it meets those specific needs you've uncovered. You're not just listing features or throwing out a bunch of buzzwords. You're showing them how your product solves their problem, makes their life easier, or helps them achieve their goals. This is where the magic happens. When you can clearly connect the dots between what they need and what you're offering, the sale practically makes itself. And because you've built that relationship, they trust you to deliver on your promises. Finally, remember that this three-step process isn't set in stone. It's flexible, and you can adapt it to different situations. Maybe you spend more time building the relationship with one client, while another needs more convincing about how your product fits their needs. The point is to use these steps as a guide, but don't be afraid to adjust as needed. When you approach sales with a clear process in mind, you're more confident, more prepared, and ultimately, more successful. So, keep these steps in your back pocket, and watch how they change the game. Leverage. Leverage is like your secret sauce in sales. It's all about using what you've got to open doors and close deals. Think about it. If you've had some early successes or worked with well-known clients, don't keep that to yourself. Use those wins to build your credibility and attract new business. It's not bragging if it's true, right? When potential clients see that others have trusted you and gotten results, they're more likely to jump on board. It's about showing them that you've got the goods and the experience to back it up. Let's say you've landed a big client in the past. That's leverage. Mentioning that you've worked with this client can be a game changer in your pitch to new prospects. It signals that you're capable of handling big accounts and delivering on your promises. Even if you're just starting out, leverage can come from smaller wins, like positive testimonials or case studies. The point is to use whatever you've got to build trust and make it easier for new clients to say yes. It's like stacking the deck in your favor before you even start the game. But leverage isn't just about who you've worked with, it's also about what you've accomplished. Maybe you've got some impressive stats, like a high customer satisfaction rate or a record of delivering projects on time and under budget. These are all things you can use to strengthen your pitch. When you lead with results, you're not just telling potential clients what you can do, you're showing them. And showing is always more powerful than telling. It's about creating a narrative that positions you as the obvious choice. Another way to use leverage is through your network. Who you know can be just as important as what you know. If you've got connections in the industry, don't be shy about reaching out to them for referrals or introductions. A warm introduction can be the difference between getting a foot in the door and having it slammed in your face. And once you've made that connection, your previous successes help to seal the deal. It's all about using every tool in your toolbox to create opportunities and drive sales. Finally, remember that leverage is something you build over time. The more successes you have, the more leverage you gain. So, keep track of your wins, gather testimonials, and stay connected with your network. Each new success adds to your leverage, making it easier to close the next deal. It's like building momentum. Once you've got it, you just keep rolling. So, don't underestimate the power of leverage in your sales strategy. It's not just about selling what you have today. It's about using your past to create a future full of opportunities. Sell outcomes, not products. Here's the deal. People don't really care about products. They care about what those products can do for them. That's why, in sales, you've got to focus on selling outcomes, not just the products themselves. It's about painting a picture of how their life's going to change after they make that purchase. Whether it's saving time, making money, or just making things easier, that's what they're buying. Your job is to connect the dots between your product and the results they're looking for. When you can do that, the sale becomes a no-brainer. Think about it. If you're selling financial advice, you're not just selling a service, you're selling peace of mind, financial security, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. People don't get excited about spreadsheets and investment plans. They get excited about what those things will do for their future. So, when you're making your pitch, don't just talk about the features of your product. Talk about the outcomes. Talk about how their life's going to be better, easier, or more successful because of what you're offering. Selling outcomes also means understanding what really matters to your customer. What are they struggling with? What keeps them up at night? The more you know about their pain points, the better you can tailor your pitch to show how your product is the solution they've been looking for. It's like being a doctor. First, you diagnose the problem, and then you prescribe the cure. And when you can show them that your product is the cure, they'll be ready to buy. Another key to selling outcomes is using stories and examples. People connect with stories because they can see themselves in them. So, share success stories from other clients who've achieved the outcomes your potential customer wants. Maybe you've helped someone double their income or save hours of work each week. Whatever it is, use those stories to make the outcomes feel real and achievable. When people can see the results in action, they're more likely to believe that they can achieve the same thing. Lastly, don't forget to close the loop by asking how the customer sees themselves using your product. Get them to visualize the outcome. Ask questions like, how do you think this will change your day-to-day? Or what's the first thing you'll do with the extra time you'll save? This not only reinforces the benefits but also helps them start to mentally commit to the purchase. Selling outcomes isn't just a technique, it's a mindset shift that takes your sales game to the next level. So, focus on the results, and the rest will follow. Over-delivering. In sales, there's a little secret that can make all the difference: over-delivering. It's not just about meeting expectations, it's about exceeding them. When you give your clients more than they bargained for, you're not just closing a sale, you're building loyalty, trust, and a reputation that'll keep them coming back for more. It's like giving them a pleasant surprise. They expected one thing, and you delivered something even better. And guess what? People remember that. It's the kind of thing that turns a one-time customer into a lifelong fan. Let's say you're selling an online course about financial literacy. Sure, you could just deliver the modules and call it a day. But what if you threw in some bonus content, like extra worksheets, personalized feedback, or a live Q&A session? These little extras show that you're not just in it for the money. You genuinely care about your client's success. And when they see that, they're more likely to stick with you, recommend you to others, and come back for more of what you're offering. It's all about creating value beyond the sale. Over-delivering also means being honest about what you can provide. Don't promise the moon if you can only deliver the stars. Instead, set realistic expectations and then find ways to exceed them. Maybe it's delivering ahead of schedule, or maybe it's providing a bit more than they expected in terms of quality or service. When you're honest up front and then go above and beyond, it builds trust. And in the world of sales, trust is everything. It's what keeps the relationship strong and the sales rolling in. But here's the thing, over-delivering doesn't have to break the bank. Sometimes it's the small gestures that make the biggest impact. Maybe it's a handwritten thank you note, a follow-up call just to check in, or even a simple piece of advice that they didn't expect. These little touches show that you're not just about making a sale, you're about building a relationship. And that's something money can't buy. When clients feel valued and appreciated, they're more likely to keep doing business with you. Finally, remember that over-delivering is a mindset. It's about always looking for ways to add value, even after the sale is done. It's about thinking long-term, not just about the quick win. When you approach sales with this mindset, you're setting yourself up for success. Clients will see you as a trusted partner, not just a vendor. And in the end, that's what turns good salespeople into great ones. So, make over-delivering part of your strategy, and watch how it transforms your business. Alright, so now that you've got all this knowledge, the real question is, what are you going to do with it? It's one thing to hear about how to build wealth and change your mindset, but it's a whole different ballgame to actually put it into action. So, here's a challenge. What's the first step you're going to take today? Are you going to start saving a little more? Maybe look into those investments you've been putting off, or finally kickstart that business idea that's been sitting on the back burner? Don't just sit on this information, use it. Your future self will thank you for it. And here's the kicker, the sooner you start, the faster you'll see the results. Imagine where you could be a year from now if you just commit to making one small change today. It's all about that first move. So, what's it gonna be? If you're serious about leveling up your financial game, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more to share, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's keep this journey going together, because the path to financial freedom is a lot easier when you've got the right tools and the right mindset. See you in the next one.